So the theme parks are closed and have been for quite a while, and we're missing them, so how about we take the time to look back on the best bits of a park, such as queue jumpers, assigned seating and much more. So with that said, these are my pet peeves. Okay, so I think we've all endured this at least once, where someone will creep up behind you in a queue. Well, should probably say something, I feel like that would probably be the better addressed term. Back on topic, they come up behind you in a queue, they act all innocent, and they'll say something along the lines of,
"Can you let me through? My family's near the front."
Because, you know, their family just so happens to be right at the front. It's one of those things in life that you really want to deal with yourself, but you don't have the social skills because you're a theme park enthusiast. It comes with the job. But on 9 out of 10 occasions, they'll have the balls just to shove past you before you give an answer, spineless pillock. Are you so impatient that you can't even wait for me to give an answer? You asked me the question. What would be the point in asking the question if the answer didn't matter? It just makes no sense. I've kind of come up with a tactic of dealing with these creatures. What you want to do is you want to cover as much of the queue width as possible. Now, don't T-pose or anything. Be casual about it. Here's a diagram. If they get through that, then I'm afraid that's your problem.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees.
You know what's romantic? I want you to think about that for a moment. Okay, you may have said a nice restaurant, bed, or a drive-in theatre. Bet none of you said the rush queue. So let's just say you're in a queue and you see 2 people in front of you, usually a couple. Well, be a bit weird if they weren't, and they start to kiss and all that jazz. No, that's fine, don't have a problem with that. I'm a little bit jealous after all, seeing how I literally run a channel about roller coasters. But what gets me is the fact that you're stuck in a compact space with those people and they go at it for a full 40 minutes. It is just a bit awkward, and you don't really have a choice but to stand there clueless. Like, what do you do in that situation? I mean, you can film some off-ride footage, sure, but you can't really tell them to stop, because A, you don't have the social skills, and B, you just don't have the social skills. And the more you think about saying something, the weirder it seems. Surely there's a better place to do the, how do I put this, the hokey cokey. Whilst we're on the subject of queues, don't you just love when a queue time is under advertised? You stroll up Stanhouse Ghost Train, the queue board says 15 minutes, and you say to yourself,
"Oh, that's swell, I may join the queue."
So you get in the queue, you've been waiting for around 20 minutes, not really a problem, maybe operations are a bit slow, and before you know it, you've been in that queue for an hour, and you've just gotten to the pre-show batching area. Now I can understand why parks may over-advertise queues, it helps them sell fast tracks I guess, but what's the point in under-advertising? If you've waited for the proposed time, let's just say an hour, and you contemplate leaving because you're nowhere near the front of the queue, you've wasted an hour, and you've got to maneuver past all of the people as you backtrack to the entrance. So the moral of the story from the guy who knows, if a queue board seems too low, it's too good to be true.
Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
Just finished cleaning up your.
Picture this, you've been queuing for a ride, more specifically a roller coaster, for around 2.5 hours. You're looking forward to getting that back row ride, but there's a catch, they're doing assigned seating. You beg, you plead with the ride ops to just get a chance of going in the back row like the enthusiast you are. It doesn't work, you're sent to row 6. Better luck next time, buckaroo. I can see why parks do assigned seating, it improves operations, and it's one of those things that the average visitor probably don't care about. With that said, it's just infuriating, especially when you hear that a certain ride is good in a certain seat. I just realised how entitled I sound there. Do you know the pain of almost getting back row on Wicker Man, but getting row 7? I think not.
The best things in life are free.
Let's say a park has a loose article policy where you can't bring certain things onto a ride, which is understandable. Basically all parks have this policy. Some rides have bins at the side of a station where you can put your stuff, some have baggage hold, but the one that really loggers my leap is lockers. Parks like Universal, they have free lockers. You scan your park ticket and you're sorted, which is a great system, every park should implement it. But what I don't understand is when parks have a really strict loose article policy and they'll charge for lockers that you have to pay for if you're not with a non-rider. Now you may be thinking, shut up, stop being so tight, but genuinely, what's the point in paying for a locker? Surely it would just make more sense to increase park admission for free lockers, because that way you ain't paying per ride.
Bye bye love. Bye.
You know what serves no purpose? Staggered openings. Fair enough if a ride opens a little late due to it having actors, that's fair because it has actors, but otherwise what's the point? What does it do? For example, Portmanteau Furious Backer opens at around 10 and Shambhala and Dragon Khan open at 10:30. Why? It just slows things down, it makes no sense whatsoever, because instead of getting those morning rides done across the park whilst it's quiet and spreading out crowds, you're stuck in a pre-queue just sitting there. I guess it reduces running costs, which is understandable if a smaller park does it, but from a guest perspective it's just annoying, especially when you think about what rides you could be getting done if all the rides were open at once and you weren't waiting. So one train ops. I've saved the best till last. Don't you just love going to a park? It's pretty busy and they're running one train on your favourite coaster. What is the point in running one train when you can run more on a peak day? I swear parks think like they're Pablo Escobar or something because they took a train off Shambhala to sell fast track. Now don't get me wrong, I can understand if a train is having issues and they can only run one, then obviously that's fine. But when one train ops are being done on a peak day for the sake of selling fast tracks, it's just frustrating, and I'm not getting too angry at this. This is justified. But yeah, one train operations, I don't see the point, and nor should you.
Tequila.
Okay, those are my pet peeves. You probably can't relate to them, so I came prepared, and by that I mean I asked you all on Twitter and Instagram what your theme park pet peeves were. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that did send a response. Obviously I won't be able to get through all of them, but I've tried to include the ones that I didn't mention. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to relate to these ones. When the fast track queue is longer than the main queue. Wait, surely that's a good thing. Jimbo. Personally, I don't like it when people spit at me in the queue line fences. I gotta love it when that happens. Happens to me all the time. Someone just spits at you in a queue and disappears. Like, you know, it's disgusting. But sometimes you get what you deserve in life. You've been calling me Jimbo for the past 3 weeks. Please stop. People arguing with the ride ops because their little darling isn't the right height. You wouldn't think that this would happen because you have all the height boards and restriction thingies at the front, but it still happens, and I don't get why. And all these parents act surprised when their child is too small. You could have checked like an hour earlier, and you wouldn't be in this position. People urinating in queue like, what? I don't know how to respond to that one. People are not moving down the air gate. You know what, I'll do one better. People shaking the air gates. When so-called enthusiasts are so obnoxious that they look down on the general public for being the GP, don't they realise that the GP fund all the theme parks? This. Inaccurate queue boards, no single riders, queue jumpers. Being the absolute person I am with no friend, it really staggers my lee when there's people in the single rider queue who aren't single riders, and then they get annoyed because they can't go on with their mates. It kind of defeats the whole objective of it, and I've seen it happen before. And why go the single rider queue if you know you're not a single rider? When all the people fly out of the seats and land the next day. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you so much for getting this far. I know this isn't the kind of video I'd normally do, but I've been wanting to do an opinion-based video for a while. Hopefully this was kind of relatable, and if it wasn't, then you're either really lucky or haven't been to a theme park, and if that's the case, why are you even here? If you want to see a part 2 or a version on scare events, be sure to leave a like and comment. I'm definitely down to do a part 2. This video was a lot of fun to make, and if you want, you may as well subscribe. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.